Hi everyone, thank you for coming back to my channel. This week we're going to do something different. Today we're going to answer your questions. So a lot of times you hear me ramble on and on and on, but I never get to hear what you guys want to ask me. So I put a little thing up on Instagram and said, please send in your questions. And I thought there'd be 20 or 30, but there are thousands of questions. I've got pages and pages of questions, so I'm going to try and randomly pick and hopefully answer some of your, and I'm going to mention your Instagram names so that other people can know who you are as well, and hopefully they can follow you. But anyway, before we do that, I want us to take 10 seconds for those who haven't subscribed to just press the subscribe button. It's right next to you there. I think it's this side. 10 seconds, that's all you got to do. It doesn't cost anything. All you do is when you press it, it means you'll always be notified for videos. So let's take 10 seconds, subscribe now. And thank you. You are now officially subscribed, hopefully. Okay, let's start with the questions. All right, Mr. Mark Jason Williams. Hi, Mark. What would you like to achieve in life that you haven't done already? So one of the things I always wanted to achieve was, I always said that when I get to 40, this is career-wise, I always wanted to get into film, and I got to do that because about 3 years ago, I did my first ever short film where I played the lead character, Harry, and Harry was a recovering drug addict, and I had to play this, and of course, for me, I didn't know what the effects of these drugs were, so I had to do a lot of research. Anyway, did the short film and thankfully got nominated for Best Short Film in 3 places. One in North Hollywood Film Festival. At the Beverly Hills Film Festival, we got nominated for Best Short Film. And, sorry, someone's come up on my phone, hello. And in Manhattan Film Festival. So I was absolutely blown away. And on top of that, I got nominated as Best Actor. So it was a great start for me, and it really meant the world to me. And since then, I've done a feature film, which is going to be out later this year, called On the Other Foot. And I'm starting to film another feature film in March. So things are really going well, and it's really going to plan. Okay, it's kind of the later part of 40s, but hey, who's complaining, And what's a few years between friends? Let's be honest. So that's it. Personally wise, I think I've got a lovely family, got my wife, got my kids, got my mum and dad, thankfully, with us, not here in England, but they're only young, they're only in their late 80s. My sister, my brothers, so I'm very, very lucky. This next one's from Stuart Walby. I happen to know Stuart. How are you, Stewie Booey? Why do men have nipples? Now, this is a very interesting question, and one that I cannot answer. Do I look like God? Do I look like I wrote the Bible? Do I look like I created mankind? I don't know why we've got nipples. Do you? Get back to me on that, Stuart, even though you asked me the question. I don't know why men have nipples. We've got one from Anne-Marie.Cummings with a Z at the end. Will you have any more children? I think you better ask Emily that question, because, look, let's be honest, even if I want to have more children, I can't just go, I'm having more children. I've got to ask the wife. And to be honest, I'm quite happy at the moment. We've got a lot of kids running around from all different ages, so I don't know, but I'll let you know about that if things change. Jazz B 1881. Hey Jazz. So it says here, what kind of books do you and Emily like reading? Well, I went through a stage of reading books. I loved John Grisham. John Grisham is one of my favorite writers. I love all his books, so I went through a stage of reading all his books, and then when I read them all, I stopped reading. I don't know why. When you sort of find a series that you love, and then when you binge on it and you watch all the series, and then you kind of think, oh, I don't want to watch another series now, I'm kind of done. Maybe that doesn't happen to you, but that did for me. Emily, I don't know, she loves all these sort of, I don't know. I should know this. I should know. What I'm going to do is, hopefully she's not going to see this bit, and we won't advertise this bit on Instagram to make you watch the show. Although, knowing the people that do the edits, this is exactly what they're going to put up, because Emily's going to now know that I don't know something about her, which is bad because we've been together for nearly 10 years now. Okay, one from Chelsea O. Nicole. Hi Chelsea, can you tour Oz once COVID has settled down? Yes, I love Australia so much. It's where I started in music, and actually this year is 30 years since I got signed up in Australia, so I'd love to come back and do a tour. I'm going to release some new music, and we're going to start talking to the Australian labels and radio as well, and hopefully we'll be able to get some music out there for once in years, and then I'll be able to come and tour. So yes, I would love that. One from Lauren J. XOX, presume that's kisses and not cocks. Do you feel lucky with the life you have? Of course I do. I feel privileged. I feel very lucky. I feel grateful that, you know, I'm able to have the family that I've got, and everything that's happened work-wise has just been an absolute bonus and a dream. So yes, I absolutely do. And I never take it for granted. I hope no one could ever say that I take it for granted. Here's one from BAL Balcor Paniza. Any tips on raising polite kids like yours? Well, thank you very much for that. I am very strict on manners. I always have been, but that's because my parents were very strict on us on manners, and I think it really doesn't cost much to be nice. And I tell these kids, you know, when you meet somebody, always say hello. How are you? Always. If somebody comes to your home that you know, someone that's you've invited over, the first thing, would you like something to drink? You know, be polite, because not only it doesn't cost anything, but actually people really feel relaxed around you if you're polite to them and you're nice to them, and they're more likely to react that way back to you and pass it on to others. So that's my advice, is just always, you know, the standard please, thank you, how are you, ask about other people instead of just talking about yourself, which is something that I'm doing a lot of right now, is talking about myself. Here's one from Sim XOX OX. So again, I presume it's Sim kiss, or kiss hug, not Sim cocksocks. Anyway, how does it feel to have young fans? I'm 22 and I met you when I was 10 years old. Well, of course it means a lot to me that I've got any fans at all, let alone young or old. One of the things I've noticed that when I do concerts, which I absolutely love, of course, we have all ages from 2 to 82, you know, or 92 even. I even had someone come to my concert that was 99. So you know, for me, it's great to have fans at all, let alone ages. Oh, here's an interesting one. Maze 3700. Now, how did you manage your battles with anxiety? This is a really good question. Mental health is real. A lot of people did not really know for a long time how real mental health was, and I think it's being brought to the forefront. The thing is that mental health affects people like physical health affects other people. The differences with physical and mental health is you can't always see what's going on in someone's mind. In fact, you can't unless they tell you. So somebody said to me, if you saw an elderly lady crossing the road and she was struggling with her bags, 9 out of 10 people would go and help this lady. But imagine if that lady was trying to cross the road. She was walking fine across the road, but she was really struggling in her mind. No one's going to go and help her because they don't know that it's happening. So what I would say to you about managing your battles with anxiety, there's a lot of things online you can do, you know, meditation and breathing exercises, which are really good. One of the things I've been taught that's really important is to always do some grounding work. So for example, when you're feeling good and you're not anxious and you're not having anxiety or depression, one of the things you can do is sort of look at your surroundings, feel things around you, feel your feet on the ground. I know this sounds a bit strange. Do some breathing exercises so that when you feel really comfortable doing that, every time you feel anxious, you can go back to that place in your mind and you can start doing the breathing again and feel your feet on the ground. It sounds a bit weird, but really do it. It's great. I do it and it's helped me a lot. So here's one from Pomboy79. Would you ever move back to Australia? You know what? Australia is so special in my heart, and I have thought about it loads of times. I love the lifestyle in Australia, but all of that aside, and I love the people of Australia, of course, but all that aside, of course, my mum and dad and my sister live there, and yes, I would love to be back there on a more, full-on basis, but England is also my home. The British people are so wonderful. I've got my family here, so it's a very difficult thing to do, but if I could live between the two, COVID permitting, then I would. Okay, Rachel _ Wilts. Are you ever tempted to go for an R&B style album? I think it would suit your voice. Well, if you look at the video I just put before this one that was on Thursday, you'll see that, yeah, that's exactly the kind of thing I'm doing. It's R&B is what I love. I grew up listening to soul, funk, blues, jazz, and I love all that sound. And then of course now a lot of urban music can cross over to, you can cross pop with urban and make it a really kind of cool sound, and I'd love to do that, so yes. All right, Gene FYF, coffee beans or ground coffee, need expert advice. Well, for me, I love grinding my own coffee beans. There's something about the smell that it releases. It's just kind of therapeutic. So I'm into coffee beans. Have you been? I've got one here from Scatnat8. Hi Scatnat, would you marry me? Now look, the thing is, I'm really grateful that you would ask that. I think in this country you're only allowed to be married to one person. I'll find out, but I think that is the, hey, I'm only joking. Man, how nice of you to even ask me, but M's would kill me, can't. I've got a really interesting one here from 8491 _ Anthony. Hi, Anthony. He asked me, how do I feel about influencers going to Dubai? Okay, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't hate upon people that go to Dubai. I'd love some sun if I could. What I think the problem is though, is it's not the fact that they're in Dubai. It's the fact of what they're putting on social media. So let me explain. Your job as an influencer, of course, is being on social media. And there are some people that are saying, yeah, but I'm a fitness instructor and I'm doing fitness stuff from Dubai, and it's part of my job. I get that. You want to put fitness stuff, people aren't going to know where you are. They're not going to say, well, you did that from Dubai, unless of course you do a whole backdrop of Dubai. People will be interested in your training exercise advice. But it's when you're putting all the stuff of you lying on the beach and all that, which I get. You're in the sun, you want to enjoy it. But the problem is that what it's doing is it's affecting the people that are here that haven't got that opportunity and that are in lockdown. So I get both sides. Doesn't mean I hate people for going to Dubai. Dubai's a lovely place. It's just how you go about it. So all I'm saying is, and I've made mistakes too. I remember being in Cyprus last year when we were allowed to travel and I was putting things on of our house saying I love Cyprus, and people going, do you think you should be flaunting this when we're all stuck here? And it made me think twice, and I thought, you know what, I didn't realise that. So then I stopped doing it. Yeah, that's my opinion. Right, we've got one from Vicky Port. Have you ever been to Exeter? I have. I actually got married there. Emily and I got married in Exeter and we love it. It's beautiful. Okay, here's an interesting one from Daisy.Stokes _ kiss kiss. Why did you choose to keep your kids with Emily offline? So Emily's point is that they weren't born into the media. No one's ever seen their faces, so she doesn't really want anyone to see their faces. So when they go to school, no one can recognize them in that. Obviously with J&P, from day one, we were documenting our lives and they were part of that. So I think that they've always been in the media and that's the reasoning for it. So I've got to respect Emily for that. She hasn't done it. She says, once you do cross that, there's no going back. So I'm like, okay, no problem. Lizzie _loves _aesthetic. Hi, Lizzie loves aesthetic. What is my favorite pet? Well, we have got Teddy and Willow, our two rabbits, and I absolutely love them. And because we're just kind of obsessed with them at the moment, I'm going to say Teddy and Willow, our little rabbits. So once again, thank you very much for joining us today. Hope you liked it, and always come back for more. We've done this today. There's loads more questions we could have answered, but we'll do it next time. So, thank you again. Look after yourselves and see you in a few days with something new.